What if I told you that some of Hollywood's most glamorous stars were hiding secrets so dark they could have ended their careers overnight? Behind the perfect smiles, glitzy gowns, and red carpet charm were families torn apart by betrayal, hidden children, and scandals buried deep to protect their shining image. These weren't just stars, they were masters of illusion, living double lives under the flash of studio lights. From forbidden affairs to shocking parentage cover-ups, these secrets reveal a side of Golden Age Hollywood few ever saw. These are the 20 most shocking family secrets hidden by Golden Age icons. 20. Lucille Ball, the truth about her marriage to Desi Arnaz. They were Hollywood's favorite couple, the faces of love, laughter, and picture-perfect happiness on I Love Lucy. But off-screen, their marriage was far from the cheerful world fans adored. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz lived in constant tension behind the laughter. Desi's heavy drinking, gambling, and rumored affairs slowly tore their bond apart. Lucille, desperate to hold their family together, kept smiling for the cameras while her heart was breaking. Their on-screen chemistry became their mask, a performance that fooled the world. Even after their divorce, the two still shared a deep connection that neither could truly let go of. It was a love built for television, but shattered by real life. The truth was simple. Their greatest act was pretending their marriage was fine when it was already falling apart. 19. Greta Garbo, the family she cut off completely. Greta Garbo was the woman who made silence mysterious. While the world was obsessed with her beauty and talent, Garbo was quietly erasing parts of her past. She came from a modest Swedish family, but fame changed everything. Once she stepped into Hollywood's blinding light, Garbo distanced herself from everyone she once knew, even her own family. Letters went unanswered, visits were denied, and eventually, her loved ones stopped trying to reach her. She became an island, living in solitude for decades, speaking to almost no one. Some say it was her way of protecting her privacy. Others believe she carried pain too heavy to share. Whatever the reason, Greta Garbo's greatest secret wasn't hidden in scandal. It was buried in silence. She didn't just leave Hollywood behind, she left her family in the shadows too. 18. Spencer Tracy, the secret family behind the curtain. Spencer Tracy was one of Hollywood's most respected actors, admired for his strength and sincerity on screen. But away from the spotlight, his personal life was tangled in secrets. Married to Louise Treadwell, Tracy never divorced her, even though their relationship was more of an arrangement than a marriage. Behind the curtain, he had a long, hidden love affair with Katharine Hepburn that lasted decades. Their bond was deep and undeniable, yet it was kept in the shadows because of his devotion to his wife and Catholic guilt. Tracy lived torn between two worlds, duty and desire. He quietly supported his family, especially his deaf son, but lived separately for most of his life. To the world, he was a moral man of integrity. In truth, his private life was a quiet storm of love, guilt, and secrets that never saw daylight. 17. Ingrid Bergman, the child born from scandal. Ingrid Bergman's smile could light up any screen, but one decision nearly destroyed her career. During her marriage to Petter Lindstrom, Bergman fell in love with Italian director Roberto Rossellini. Their affair became one of Hollywood's biggest scandals when she became pregnant with his child while still married. The news shocked America. Her image as a pure, graceful actress was shattered overnight. She was condemned by the press, banned from Hollywood, and even denounced by politicians. For years, she lived in exile, raising her child away from the public eye. Yet Bergman never apologized for following her heart. Eventually, her undeniable talent brought her back, and she regained her place among the greats. But behind every award and standing ovation stood a painful truth. The price of love was losing the world's respect, if only for a time. 16. James Dean, the mysterious relationship with his father. James Dean looked like the rebel who had it all: fame, looks, and the world at his feet. But his rise to stardom hid a deep loneliness rooted in his past. After his mother died, Dean's father sent him away to live with relatives, barely keeping in touch. That separation haunted him for years. When Dean became a star, his father suddenly returned to his life, but their bond never healed. Behind his moody expressions and raw performances was a young man forever searching for love and belonging. Hollywood saw his intensity as charisma, but it was really the pain he'd carried since childhood. Every role he played, from Rebel Without a Cause to East of Eden, felt like a message to the father who never truly understood him. His rebellion wasn't just against society, it was against the silence of his own family. 15. Jean Harlow, the controlling mother and the tragic end. Jean Harlow was the original blonde bombshell, glamorous, witty, and adored by millions. But behind her stardom stood a mother who ruled her life like a director behind the camera. Jean's mother, known as Mama Jean, controlled her every move, from her finances to her relationships. She convinced her daughter to end marriages, reject offers, and stay dependent on her. As Jean's health began to fail, her mother's influence became even more dangerous. When Harlow fell gravely ill, Mama Jean refused medical treatment, trusting only her own beliefs, a decision that cost Jean her life at just 26. To the public, she was a tragic star who died too young. To those who knew her story, she was a daughter trapped in her mother's control, never truly allowed to live her own life before it was cruelly taken away. 14. Rock Hudson, the secret life his family had to protect. Rock Hudson was the ultimate leading man, handsome, charming, and loved by millions. But behind that perfect image, he carried a truth that could have ended his career in an instant. In an era when Hollywood demanded flawless masculinity, Hudson was secretly gay. Only a handful of people in his inner circle knew, including some family members who worked tirelessly to protect his secret. Studio executives arranged fake relationships to keep suspicions away, crafting a public life built entirely on illusion. When Hudson was later diagnosed with AIDS, his private world began to crumble. Even then, he faced it with quiet dignity, never betraying the truth he had hidden for decades. After his death, the secret finally came out, changing how the world saw him forever. His story became a heartbreaking symbol of what Hollywood's image machine could cost a man who simply wanted to live freely. 13. Rita Hayworth, the father who betrayed her trust. Rita Hayworth was the embodiment of beauty and grace, a woman whose dance moves could captivate anyone. But her glamorous rise masked a deeply painful childhood. Before her fame, she was forced to perform in dance shows by her father, Eduardo Cancino, a man whose control over her life crossed troubling boundaries. As she grew older, she distanced herself from him, changing her name and image to escape the shadow of her past. Yet the emotional scars never left her. Behind the dazzling smile and magnetic confidence was a woman haunted by betrayal from the person meant to protect her most. Even in her later years, Rita struggled with trust and self-worth, searching for the peace she was denied as a child. The world saw a goddess on screen, but behind the spotlight was a broken heart that fame could never heal. 12. Humphrey Bogart, the wealthy family he tried to forget. Humphrey Bogart was known as Hollywood's tough guy, cool, rugged, and born for the streets. But the truth was far from that image. He actually came from a wealthy, upper-class New York family, raised in privilege and comfort. His parents were cold and distant, focused more on appearances than affection. Bogart despised that world and rebelled against it, running off to join the Navy and later reinventing himself as the rough-edged outsider fans loved. He rarely spoke about his upbringing, preferring people to believe he'd fought his way up from nothing. Behind that cigarette and cynical charm was a man forever at odds with his roots. He built his fame on the idea of being real, yet the most real part of him was the pain of never fitting into the life he was born into. Hollywood made him a legend, but his past made him restless. 11. Katharine Hepburn, the hidden tragedy of her brother. Katharine Hepburn's strength and independence made her one of Hollywood's most admired women, but few knew about the tragedy that shaped her fierce spirit. When she was a young girl, her beloved brother, Tom, died suddenly in what many believed was suicide. The event devastated her and changed the course of her life. She withdrew from school, even pretending to be older than she was, by using her brother's birthday as her own for years. That early loss made her guarded, determined never to depend on anyone emotionally. Her boldness, her defiance, they were shields against the pain she carried inside. While the world celebrated her confidence and charm, only those close to her knew the grief that lived quietly behind her sharp eyes. The tragedy that broke her heart also built the fearless woman the world came to admire. 10. Cary Grant, the truth about his mother's disappearance. Cary Grant had the charm of a gentleman and the elegance of royalty, but his childhood carried a heartbreaking secret. When he was just a boy, his mother suddenly vanished. For years, Grant believed she had died. That's what his father told him. But decades later, he discovered the truth. She had been placed in a mental institution without his knowledge. The betrayal shattered him. The guilt of not knowing, of never saying goodbye, followed him his entire life. His smooth confidence on screen hid a deep sadness he never truly escaped. When he finally reunited with his mother as an adult, the years apart had already carved a permanent distance between them. Behind every smile and witty remark, there was a man still searching for the mother he lost, not to death, but to silence and deception. 9. Elizabeth Taylor, The Family Feuds and Secret Affairs. Elizabeth Taylor lived like Hollywood royalty, stunning diamonds, whirlwind romances, and the spotlight always on her. But her personal life was tangled in drama that tore through her family. Her multiple marriages and public affairs caused deep rifts with those closest to her. When she fell for Richard Burton while still married, it sparked one of the biggest scandals of the era, dividing her family and friends. Taylor's children often struggled with her fame, feeling overshadowed by her larger-than-life presence. Yet, for all the chaos, she loved fiercely, sometimes too much. Her passion for love became both her strength and her downfall. Beneath the glamour and fame was a woman constantly torn between desire and duty, family and freedom. She wasn't just a screen legend. She was a human being, fighting for connection in a world built on appearances. 8. Marilyn Monroe, The Orphan Truth About Her Family. Marilyn Monroe's story began not with fame but with loneliness. Born into instability, she never truly knew her father and spent much of her childhood in foster homes. Her mother, suffering from mental illness, was taken away when Marilyn was still young, leaving her with a wound that never healed. That sense of abandonment shaped everything. She became the vulnerability in her voice, the sadness in her eyes, and the need for love that drove her relationships. Hollywood turned her into a fantasy, but off-camera, she was still Norma Jean, the little girl who longed for family. She created her own identity to escape the pain of her past, yet the ghosts of her childhood never let her go. Marilyn's beauty made her immortal, but her past made her fragile proof that fame can't fill the emptiness left by a broken home. 7. Errol Flynn, The Secret Children and Dark Allegations. Errol Flynn was the ultimate swashbuckler, dashing, daring, and adored by fans worldwide. But behind his charming grin, his life was surrounded by controversy and hidden truths. Flynn fathered several children under mysterious circumstances, some of whom remained unknown to the public for years. Rumors of affairs, secret paternity claims, and darker accusations followed him throughout his life. His wild behavior, constant partying, and brushes with the law turned his off-screen persona into a scandal of its own. Yet, even as his reputation crumbled, his charisma never faded. He lived fast, loved recklessly, and left behind a trail of unanswered questions about the real man behind the myth. Flynn's family secrets didn't just haunt his legacy, they became part of the legend itself, proving that the line between charm and chaos in Hollywood's golden age was dangerously thin. 6. Lana Turner, The Daughter Who Killed Her Lover. Lana Turner was the definition of Hollywood glamour, stunning, confident, and adored by millions. But her real life turned darker than any movie script she ever performed in. In 1958, Turner's teenage daughter, Cheryl Crane, stabbed and killed Lana's abusive lover, Johnny Stompanato, during a heated argument. The case shocked the world, blurring the line between tragedy and scandal. Lana stood by her daughter, insisting it was self-defense, but the headlines tore her reputation apart. Behind closed doors, she was a mother broken by guilt and pain, trapped between fame and family destruction. The star who once captivated audiences with beauty and charm was now forced to face the ugliest truth imaginable, that her child had saved her life in the most tragic way possible. Hollywood moved on, but Lana never truly did. The glitz dimmed, leaving behind a story soaked in heartbreak and survival. 5. Bette Davis, The Daughter Who Betrayed Her. Bette Davis was a powerhouse, bold, commanding, and one of Hollywood's greatest actresses. But her fiercest battle wasn't on a film set. It was inside her own home. In 1985, her daughter, Barbara B.D. Hyman, released a shocking tell-all book accusing Davis of being a cruel, selfish mother. The book painted Bette as a manipulative and heartless woman, destroying the mother-daughter bond they once shared. Davis, known for her toughness, was left heartbroken and humiliated. After a lifetime of fighting the industry's toughest men, she was betrayed by her own child. Behind the sharp wit and steely eyes, Bette was a woman crushed by sadness, trying to understand how love had turned into public humiliation. Her daughter's words became her final wound, proof that even Hollywood legends aren't safe from the pain of family betrayal. 4. Charlie Chaplin, secret marriages and paternity scandals. Charlie Chaplin made the world laugh, but his personal life was far from funny. Behind his lovable tramp image was a trail of secret marriages, young brides, and court battles that threatened to destroy him. He married multiple times, often to much younger women, sparking public outrage and legal trouble. One of his biggest scandals came when actress Joan Barry accused him of fathering her child, leading to a messy paternity trial that played out under brutal media attention. Although blood tests proved he wasn't the father, the damage to his reputation was severe. Hollywood, once his kingdom, turned cold. Chaplin's genius couldn't shield him from the chaos of his private choices. Beneath the laughter and brilliance was a man desperate for love, but trapped in his own mistakes. His life became proof that even comedy's greatest star carried tragedy behind his smile. 3. Judy Garland, the broken family behind the curtain. Judy Garland's voice could melt hearts, but her personal life was marked by heartbreak and control. From childhood, she was treated like a product, not a person. MGM Studios and her ambitious mother pushed her into fame, forcing strict diets, pills, and endless performances to keep her perfect. The little girl who dreamed beyond the rainbow grew up trapped in an industry that stole her innocence. As an adult, Judy struggled to maintain relationships and stability, her family life collapsing under the weight of addiction and exhaustion. Despite her love for her children, her own pain often overshadowed her parenting. The public adored her, but behind the applause was a woman broken by the same system that made her famous. Judy's story wasn't just about stardom, it was about the price of being controlled by those who claimed to love her most. 2. Clark Gable, the hidden daughter with Loretta Young. Clark Gable was known as the King of Hollywood, admired for his charm and masculine allure. But behind his confident smile lay a secret that stayed buried for decades. During the filming of Call of the Wild in 1935, he had an affair with actress Loretta Young. When Young discovered she was pregnant, she feared the scandal would end both their careers. To protect her image, she secretly left Hollywood, gave birth to a daughter, and later adopted her own child to cover up the truth. For years, the world believed the child was adopted until much later, when the truth surfaced. Gable never acknowledged the girl publicly, and she grew up not knowing who her father truly was. It was one of Hollywood's most carefully guarded secrets, a love affair hidden behind lies, reputation, and the ruthless need to protect a golden image. 1. Joan Crawford, the children's tell-all nightmare. Joan Crawford embodied glamour, power, and discipline, at least on screen. But after her death, that image was shattered when her adopted daughter, Christina Crawford, published Mommy Dearest. The explosive book accused Joan of being abusive, cruel, and obsessed with control. The shocking claims of physical and emotional torment painted a horrifying picture of Hollywood's beloved star. For years, Joan had projected perfection, the glamorous mother, the ultimate professional. But behind her immaculate appearance, Christina alleged a world of fear, rage, and punishment. The story divided fans. Some defended Joan fiercely, others saw the book as the truth finally coming to light. What's undeniable is that it changed her legacy forever. The woman who fought her way to the top ended up haunted by her own family's words. Joan Crawford's greatest performance wasn't on film, it was the act of hiding her pain from the world. Hollywood's golden age looked like perfection, all glitter, gowns, and glowing smiles. But behind those velvet curtains were secrets that could have destroyed everything. These stars lived double lives, protecting their reputations while quietly battling betrayal, heartbreak, and silence. Some took their secrets to the grave, while others were exposed long after they were gone. It makes you wonder how many more untold stories are still buried beneath the shine of old Hollywood. How many stars were hiding truths the world was never meant to see. If you love uncovering the dark side of fame and the secrets Hollywood tried to erase. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because the next story might be one the studios never wanted you to hear.
Number 25. Tom Cruise's secret stunt ritual. Every time Tom Cruise leaps off a skyscraper or clings to the side of a plane, he's hiding something under his suit, a G-string thong. Cruise swears by this bizarre undergarment for comfort during his most dangerous stunts, a secret he kept for years, only admitting it after persistent rumors. The revelation came after a costume designer accidentally mentioned it in an interview. Cruise later confirmed the practice started during Mission Impossible 2. The specialized garment prevents chafing during intense action scenes. Stunt coordinators noticed his improved performance when wearing it. Now, several stunt performers have adopted the same unusual practice. Cruise reportedly owns dozens of these custom-made items. Number 24. Marlon Brando's cue card addiction. Marlon Brando, widely considered one of the greatest actors ever, had a dark secret on set. He couldn't or wouldn't memorize his lines. During iconic roles like The Godfather, Brando insisted on cue cards scattered around the set, sometimes hidden in bizarre places like plants, or even on babies used in scenes. The cards became a running joke, with multiple takes needed to hide their presence, much to the frustration of his co-stars and directors. Despite the extra production costs, Brando's genius was undeniable, and directors tolerated his disinterest in professionalism. Francis Ford Coppola even nearly fired him for it. Yet Brando's insistence on using cue cards wasn't about laziness. It was about keeping his spontaneity alive. Number 23. Joan Crawford's lost adult film. Joan Crawford was rumored to have starred in a pornographic film before her stardom. The studios allegedly paid hush money to keep it hidden, but whispers continued. Crawford lived in fear of exposure, though she denied it until her death. Was the film real or just a blackmail myth? Either way, it haunted her career, fueling her obsession with perfection. Number 22. Jean Harlow's forced marriage. Jean Harlow was forced into a brief, loveless marriage to cinematographer Harold Rawson, arranged by MGM to protect her image. The marriage, meant to cover up rumors about her late husband's suicide, lasted just 8 months. Harlow never experienced real love. Her personal life was controlled by the studio. Could her tragic, controlled life have shaped her longing for genuine affection? Number 21. Tallulah Bankhead's secret abortions. Tallulah Bankhead secretly underwent multiple abortions, a scandal that could have destroyed her career. The procedures were hidden, with medical records altered and staff bribed for silence. Bankhead's traumatic experiences led to depression and self-medication through alcohol. Her autobiography omitted these painful secrets, but her infamous quote, "I'm as pure as the driven slush," concealed the emotional scars from her past. Number 20. Patricia Douglas's assault cover-up. At just 17, Patricia Douglas was raped at an MGM party disguised as a casting call. The studio silenced her using threats, bribed witnesses, and destroyed medical evidence. Her name was blacklisted, and the press ignored the case. MGM even hired private investigators to ruin her reputation. She spent her life in obscurity until decades later, a documentary finally exposed the truth. But how many other victims were buried by Hollywood's golden silence? Number 19. Errol Flynn's disturbing reputation. Errol Flynn's career was tainted by multiple allegations of inappropriate relationships, including statutory rape. In 1942, Flynn faced trial but was defended by top attorneys hired by Warner Brothers. The studio covered up his misdeeds, intimidating witnesses and spreading false stories. Despite the evidence, Flynn was acquitted, and his career continued unscathed. His infamous "in like Flynn" phrase referred to his ability to escape scandal, but behind the public image, many former co-stars spoke of uncomfortable experiences with him on set. Number 18. Judy Garland's forced drug use. Judy Garland, forced by MGM to take dangerous drugs, struggled with addiction throughout her career. As a teenager, she was given amphetamines to control her weight and barbiturates to sleep. Studio executives monitored her meals and weight, pushing her to work grueling 18-hour days. Garland was threatened with contract termination if she refused the pills. By age 21, she was hooked. MGM labeled her emotional, never acknowledging the toll the drugs took. Her tragic downfall was a direct result of the studio's exploitation of her health. Number 17. George Raft's real-life gangster ties. George Raft didn't just play gangsters, he knew them. Growing up with mobsters like Bugsy Siegel and Lucky Luciano, Raft used those ties to land roles and dodge legal trouble. The FBI tracked him for years. Mob friends financed his films and helped him avoid tax charges. He even turned down roles where gangsters died on mob advice. Studios eventually distanced themselves, fearing scandal. Once a top star, Raft's career faded fast, and he died nearly penniless. Number 16. Alfred Hitchcock's stalking. Alfred Hitchcock's obsession with Tippi Hedren crossed the line. He stalked her, demanded sexual favors, and had a secret door built to her dressing room. When she refused him, he punished her on set, throwing live birds at her during filming. Hedren was trapped in a contract she couldn't break. After complaining, she was blacklisted. Though others stayed silent, Hedren later exposed his abuse. Her career never recovered, while Hitchcock's reputation remained protected for decades. Number 15. Robert Mitchum's drug bust. In 1948, Robert Mitchum was busted for marijuana in a police sting. RKO scrambled to save him, hiring top lawyers and PR teams. He served 60 days, but came back stronger, with studios crafting a redemption arc. The scandal weirdly boosted his image among young fans. Mitchum later joked it helped his career more than any role. His next film was even named Rachel and the Stranger, to suggest a fresh start. Behind closed doors, he always believed it was a setup. Number 14. Fatty Arbuckle's murder trial. Silent film star Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle was accused of the rape and manslaughter of actress Virginia Rappe. Despite being acquitted, his career was destroyed by the scandal and relentless press coverage. Arbuckle was arrested after a wild party in San Francisco's St. Francis Hotel. Newspapers published completely fabricated details about the incident. Studio support vanished overnight, despite his innocence. All his unreleased films were shelved. Movie theaters were threatened with boycotts if they showed his work. Arbuckle was acquitted after 3 trials, with the jury even issuing a formal apology. The damage was irreparable despite his legal victory. His name became synonymous with Hollywood excess. The scandal led directly to the creation of the Hays Code censorship rules. Arbuckle died broke and forgotten. His case established the pattern of trial by media that continues today. Number 13. Lana Turner's mobster lover murder. Lana Turner's 14-year-old daughter killed Turner's abusive mobster boyfriend, Johnny Stompanato, in what was ruled self-defense. The studios orchestrated a massive cover-up to protect Turner's image. Studio lawyers coached Turner's daughter before police interviews. MGM executives bribed journalists to minimize coverage. The daughter claimed she was protecting her mother from an attack. Evidence suggested Turner may have done the stabbing herself. Studio fixers removed evidence from the crime scene before police arrived. Turner's career benefited from the publicity. Her next film, Imitation of Life, became her biggest hit. The incident was the inspiration for several films, including Peyton Place. Stompanato had mob connections through Mickey Cohen, creating additional dangers. Turner's daughter, Cheryl, later suffered severe psychological trauma. Turner's autobiography carefully constructed an alternative narrative approved by studio lawyers. Number 12. Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford's secret affair. During the filming of Star Wars, 19-year-old Carrie Fisher had a secret affair with the married Harrison Ford. The truth only emerged decades later, shocking fans and Ford's family alike. Ford was 33 and married with 2 children during their 3-month relationship. The affair happened during the original Star Wars filming in London. Cast members suspected but maintained silence. Fisher kept the secret for 40 years before revealing it in her memoir. Ford reportedly asked her not to publish the details. Fisher described herself as inexperienced, while Ford was experienced. The power imbalance between them troubled Fisher later in life. Their on-screen chemistry in subsequent films took on new meaning after the revelation. Ford refused to comment when the story broke. Fisher claimed they never spoke of the affair again after filming ended. Several other cast relationships were kept similarly secret. Number 11. Marlon Brando's Mafia Connections. Marlon Brando didn't just play dangerous men on screen. Rumors say he may have known a few off-screen too. While preparing for The Godfather, Brando reportedly formed ties with real-life mobsters. Some say those connections didn't end when filming wrapped. Stories whispered through Hollywood claim producers backed down after quiet visits from Brando's friends. Financing for his riskier films, it sometimes came from murky, untraceable sources. His outbursts on set were tolerated, not because of talent alone, but because no one wanted to cross him. Brando never confirmed any of it, but the fear in some directors' eyes, that spoke volumes. So were those iconic roles truly earned or enforced? Number 10. Joan Crawford's Blackmail Nightmare. Joan Crawford, the glamorous perfectionist, lived under a shadow she never escaped. According to insiders, she was blackmailed for decades over a secret adult film she made before stardom. Her brother allegedly discovered it and demanded hush money for years. She even used fake charities to hide the payments. Some studio executives also knew and leveraged it for favors, keeping her under their thumb. Crawford's obsession with cleanliness, control, and appearance. It was said to be rooted in shame. Even her children were unaware of the blackmail that haunted her life. Number 9. Judy Garland's studio exploitation. Judy Garland's smile lit up the screen, but behind it was a life torn apart by studio control. MGM started her on pills as a teen to make her thinner, more energetic, more marketable. She wasn't allowed to eat without permission. Every step, every calorie, every relationship was orchestrated. Even her mother sided with the studio. Garland worked 20-hour days while being told she wasn't pretty enough. Her earnings barely touched them. The pressure crushed her spirit. She later said she could still hear Louis B. Mayer's voice telling her she was worthless. Number 8. Clark Gable's secret love child. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, had a secret so well hidden that it didn't come to light until after his death. While filming The Call of the Wild, Gable and co-star Loretta Young had an affair. When she became pregnant, panic set in. She vanished to Europe, had the child in secret, and then adopted her daughter back from an orphanage. The baby, Judy, had Gable's unmistakable features. Studio heads helped cover it up, and Gable never acknowledged her. The truth was buried for decades, until DNA confirmed it years later. Was it love, or just another casualty of Hollywood's obsession with image? Number 7. Steve McQueen, the king of cool's explosive temper. He was the ultimate tough guy on screen, but off camera, Steve McQueen battled demons that fame only made worse. Known for his violent temper, McQueen's drug use and womanizing spiraled in the 70s. He got into bar fights, crashed cars recklessly, and even pulled a gun on a man during an argument. His marriages fell apart one after another, and yet fans only saw the charming rebel on screen. How did a man so out of control stay Hollywood's favorite bad boy for so long? Number 6. Richard Burton's mysterious love letter. Richard Burton wasn't just an acting legend. He was a walking scandal magnet. His fiery on-again, off-again romance with Elizabeth Taylor had the press spinning for decades. But just days before his sudden death in 1984, Burton sent Taylor a handwritten letter that she kept sealed for the rest of her life. The contents? Still a mystery. Some believe it was a confession of eternal love. Others say it revealed a long-buried secret. Taylor called it the most beautiful thing he ever wrote her. Number 5. Kim Novak and Sammy Davis Jr., A Forbidden Love. In the late 1950s, Kim Novak and Sammy Davis Jr. dared to fall in love. But in an era when interracial relationships were taboo and deadly, their romance was seen as a direct threat to the studio's image. Columbia Pictures president reportedly called in mafia contacts to deliver a chilling warning to Davis: "End it, or your family won't be safe." Terrified, Davis caved to the pressure, even marrying another woman days later to squash the rumors. Number 4. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn's 27-year affair. For nearly 3 decades, Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn were Hollywood's most whispered about couple. He was a devout Catholic, married but estranged, and refused to divorce his wife. Hepburn accepted the hidden role of the other woman, living in the shadows while Tracy stayed in hotels to avoid scandal. They never appeared publicly as a couple, yet their bond was undeniable. When Tracy died, Hepburn didn't attend the funeral out of respect for his wife. How did a love so deep survive in silence for nearly 30 years? Number 3. Ingrid Bergman's hidden passion. Ingrid Bergman was the queen of grace on screen, but behind the scenes she had secrets that stayed buried for decades. It wasn't until 5 years after her death that Gregory Peck dropped a bombshell in an interview. They'd had a secret affair during the filming of Spellbound in the 1940s. The two were married to others, and the affair was carefully hidden under the glamour of the Golden Age. Number 2. The tragedy of Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood's drowning in 1981 still sends shivers down Hollywood's spine. She was found floating near Catalina Island after a night on a yacht with her husband Robert Wagner and actor Christopher Walken. The cause? Accidental drowning. But the details never quite added up. There were bruises, conflicting stories, silence from the only other two witnesses. Years later, the case was reopened, and Wagner was named a person of interest.
Number 1. The ruthless blackmail of Clara Bow.
Clara Bow was the original it girl, capturing hearts in the roaring 20s with her wild charm. But behind her fame was a personal nightmare. Her secretary stole private letters and attempted to blackmail her, unleashing a firestorm of rumors, orgies, affairs, and supposed drug use. The media had a field day, painting Clara as unstable and immoral. She was dragged through court and the press, and though she won the case, her reputation never fully recovered. And there you have it, some of the most jaw-dropping scandals and hidden truths from Hollywood's most iconic action stars. Who knew these legends were hiding such shocking secrets, right? But don't stop here. There's so much more to uncover about the hidden side of Hollywood's golden era. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more shocking revelations. And hey, drop a comment. What's the most surprising scandal you've heard about? We want to know your thoughts. Stay tuned for more untold stories from the world of old Hollywood. David Carradine's final scene. David Carradine became famous for playing a peaceful monk in Kung Fu. He seemed calm and spiritual. His fans thought they knew him. They were wrong. In 2009, maids at a Bangkok hotel made a shocking discovery. They found Carradine's body in a closet. He was naked. Ropes tied his hands above his head, a cord wrapped around his neck and other body parts. The police called it an accident. The medical examiner blamed autoerotic asphyxiation. This sexual practice cuts off oxygen for pleasure. It kills hundreds each year. His family couldn't accept this truth. They hired private investigators. They suggested murder, but the evidence didn't support their claims. Carradine's ex-wives later revealed he had always been in bondage. He liked dangerous bedroom games. His third wife, Marina Anderson, wrote a book about his dark side. She detailed his obsession with self-pleasure and risky behaviors. His death shocked Hollywood. The man who played wise characters on screen died from a secret addiction. His final scene was not in a movie. It happened alone in a hotel room. Bob Crane, America's smiling pervert. Bob Crane made America laugh as Colonel Hogan in Hogan's Heroes. His charming smile hid disturbing secrets. In 1978, someone bludgeoned Crane to death in an Arizona apartment. The police found something strange during their investigation. His apartment contained cameras, video equipment, and countless homemade sex tapes. Crane had recorded himself with hundreds of women. He used his fame to seduce fans. Then he filmed these encounters without permission. He showed these tapes to friends. He bragged about his conquests. His friend John Carpenter helped him set up the equipment. Police suspected Carpenter killed Crane when their friendship soured. They found blood in Carpenter's car, but DNA testing didn't exist yet. The jury acquitted Carpenter due to lack of evidence. The murder remains officially unsolved. Crane's secret life shocked America. The beloved TV colonel was a sex addict. He used his fame to feed his obsession. His addiction may have led to his murder. Anthony Perkins, behind the psycho mask. Anthony Perkins terrified audiences as Norman Bates in Psycho. The role followed him forever. He became known for playing disturbed characters. His own life held secrets just as complex. Perkins lived as a closeted gay man. Hollywood forced him to hide his sexuality. The pressure damaged his mental health. He underwent therapy to cure his homosexuality. He eventually married a woman and had children. In 1990, Perkins received devastating news. He had AIDS. He kept his diagnosis secret for 2 years. He feared the stigma would destroy his career. He used fake names in hospitals. He hid his treatments from friends. Only after he died in 1992 did his wife release a statement. She revealed his battle with AIDS. She explained he kept it private to protect his family. His son later described how his father suffered in silence. Perkins' final film was titled A Demon in My View. The name seemed fitting. He battled personal demons his entire life. His most frightening role wasn't Norman Bates. It was pretending to be someone else every day. Rock Hudson, Hollywood's forced lie. Rock Hudson embodied masculine perfection. Women wanted him, men wanted to be him. His handsome face sold millions of movie tickets. His image made him a Hollywood legend. Behind this perfect image lived a gay man. Studios forced him to hide his sexuality. They arranged fake dates with women. They created false romances for magazines. His agent even arranged a sham marriage to his secretary. In 1985, Hudson became the first major celebrity to die of AIDS. His diagnosis shocked the world. Many Americans first learned about AIDS through Hudson's death. His friend and co-star Elizabeth Taylor revealed the truth after he died. Hudson lived in constant fear of exposure. He couldn't love openly. He couldn't be himself in public. The strain affected his happiness his entire life. Hudson's death changed America's view of AIDS. His fame put a familiar face on the epidemic. His friend Elizabeth Taylor became an AIDS activist. She raised millions for research. Hudson's tragedy ultimately saved many lives. David Cassidy's final confession. David Cassidy made teenage girls scream as Keith Partridge. His posters hung on bedroom walls across America. He seemed like the perfect heartthrob. In his final years, Cassidy told fans he had dementia. He forgot the lyrics on stage. He stumbled during performances. He blamed his declining health on the same disease that killed his mother. After he died in 2017, the truth emerged. Cassidy had lied about dementia. His real problem was alcoholism. He had been drinking himself to death for years. In his final days, Cassidy confessed to producers working on a documentary about his life. "I have a liver disease," he admitted. "There is no sign of me having dementia. I lied about my drinking." His final words revealed his shame. He wanted fans to think illness took his talent. He couldn't admit that alcohol destroyed his life. His last act was creating a false narrative about his decline. Robin Williams, the misdiagnosed genius. Robin Williams made the world laugh for decades. His rapid-fire comedy seemed superhuman. His dramatic roles showed surprising depth. His suicide in 2014 stunned his fans. Initial reports blamed depression. People thought fame and pressure became too much. The truth was more complicated. After his death, doctors discovered Williams had Lewy body dementia. This rare brain disease causes hallucinations, confusion, and paranoia. Williams knew something was wrong. Doctors had misdiagnosed him with Parkinson's disease. His widow Susan later described his final months. Williams experienced tremors, anxiety, and memory problems. He couldn't remember his lines. His brilliant mind was failing him. He knew he was losing himself. The disease explained his sudden decline. It wasn't just depression that drove him to suicide. It was the terror of losing his identity. The man who could think faster than anyone was watching his mind disappear. Heath Ledger, consumed by the Joker. Heath Ledger transformed into the Joker for The Dark Knight. His performance terrified audiences. It earned him a posthumous Oscar. It also consumed his life. Ledger died from an accidental overdose in 2008. He mixed prescription medications. The combination stopped his breathing. He was only 28 years old. After his death, people learned about his preparation for the Joker role. He locked himself in a hotel room for weeks. He kept a disturbing journal. He barely slept. He pushed his mental health to breaking point. Friends reported he couldn't stop being the Joker. The character haunted his dreams. He took sleeping pills to escape. Then he took stimulants to function during the day. This dangerous cycle ultimately killed him. Ledger's father revealed the truth about the journal. The last page contained the words, "Bye-bye," written in large letters. The role that made him a legend may have driven him toward death. Matthew Perry, the friend who suffered alone. Matthew Perry made millions laugh as Chandler Bing on Friends. His sarcastic humor defined a generation. His timing seemed effortless. Behind his jokes lived a man in constant pain. Perry died in 2023 at age 54. The autopsy revealed ketamine in his system. The full investigation showed decades of addiction worse than anyone had imagined. The extent shocked even those who knew about his problems. After his death, friends revealed Perry spent over $9 million trying to get sober. He underwent 65 detox treatments. He had 14 stomach surgeries from drug damage. He nearly died multiple times before his final overdose. His memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, gave glimpses of his struggle. The complete picture emerged only after he died. Perry spent every day of Friends filming either high or hungover, or drunk or detoxing, or all combined. Perry's driver revealed he visited multiple doctors daily during the height of his addiction. He received prescriptions from 15 different physicians. He paid cash to avoid detection. He consumed 50 Vicodin pills every day for years. His co-stars didn't know the full extent of his suffering. Jennifer Aniston confronted him once about alcohol on set. His response was deflection and promises to improve. He hid his pain with jokes. He built walls with humor. Former girlfriends spoke about his isolation. He pushed people away when they got too close. He feared they would discover how broken he felt inside. He sabotaged relationships when they threatened his addiction. Perry established sober living homes to help others. He spent millions supporting other addicts. He frequently took strangers to rehab. He paid for treatments for people he barely knew. His generosity contradicted his self-destructive behaviors. His assistant found dozens of journals after his death. These writings revealed constant physical pain. Perry lived with chronic pancreatitis. His digestive system never fully recovered from years of abuse. He existed in constant agony. The man who made America laugh was crying inside. His addiction consumed everything, including his life. His story wasn't just about fame's dark side. It was about the human struggle against pain, both physical and emotional. Natalie Wood's unsolved tragedy. Natalie Wood captivated audiences from childhood. Her performance in Miracle on 34th Street made her a star at 8. Her adult roles in Rebel Without a Cause and West Side Story showcased her dramatic talent. Her beauty and skill made her an enduring icon. Wood's death shocked Hollywood in 1981. She drowned near Santa Catalina Island while boating with her husband Robert Wagner and friend Christopher Walken. The official ruling called it an accidental drowning. The case seemed straightforward at first. Questions emerged immediately about the circumstances. Wood had a lifelong fear of dark water. She never would have left the yacht alone at night. She had been drinking with Wagner and Walken. Arguments occurred throughout the evening. The boat captain Dennis Davern remained silent for years. After Wagner's autobiography contained inconsistencies, Davern spoke out. He described hearing Wood and Wagner arguing fiercely. He reported Wagner's jealousy over Wood's relationship with Walken. Davern's later testimony claimed Wagner prevented immediate search efforts. Wagner allegedly said, "Let's not call anyone right now," when Wood disappeared. Crucial hours passed before authorities were notified. These delays may have cost Wood her life. Wood's sister Lana campaigned for decades to reopen the investigation. Her efforts succeeded in 2011. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department changed Wood's cause of death from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors. In 2018, investigators named Robert Wagner a person of interest. They cited his changing stories about that night. They noted fresh bruises on Wood's body inconsistent with drowning. They questioned the delay in reporting her missing. Medical examinations revealed Wood had bruises on her wrists, knees, and ankles. These injuries suggested a struggle before entering the water. The autopsy found scratches on her face consistent with someone trying to climb back onto a boat. Wood's daughter Natasha has defended Wagner. She believes her mother's death was a tragic accident. She resents the continued investigation. She wants her mother remembered for her life rather than her mysterious death. The case remains officially unsolved. The three people who know what happened that night tell different stories. Walken rarely speaks about it. Wagner maintains his innocence. Davern claims knowledge of foul play. The truth may have drowned with Natalie Wood. Marilyn Monroe's mysterious end. Marilyn Monroe became the definitive Hollywood sex symbol. Her beauty captivated audiences worldwide. Her talent showed in films like Some Like It Hot. Her tragic death at 36 created an eternal icon frozen in youth. The official ruling called her death probable suicide. Police found empty pill bottles beside her bed. Her brief calls to friends that night seemed melancholy. The case closed quickly despite inconsistencies in the evidence. After her death, new information emerged about her complicated relationships with powerful men. Her affairs with President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy became public knowledge. These connections added sinister dimensions to her death. Witness statements released decades later contradicted the original timeline. Her housekeeper changed her story multiple times. Neighbors reported seeing unknown men at her house the night she died. An ambulance arrived before police were called. Monroe's phone records from her final day disappeared. Her diary vanished from her home. Her therapist reported missing notes from their final sessions. Someone systematically removed evidence from the scene. The autopsy found no pills in her stomach, despite the supposed method of suicide. The toxicology report showed extremely high levels of barbiturates in her blood. Experts later questioned how she could have taken pills without leaving traces in her digestive system. FBI files declassified years after her death revealed extensive surveillance of Monroe. The agency monitored her contacts with suspected communists. They recorded her conversations with foreign diplomats. They tracked her movements in her final months. Former CIA operatives made deathbed confessions about Monroe's death. Several claimed involvement in operations to silence her. They described plans to stage a suicide to protect political figures. They provided details only insiders would know. Monroe allegedly threatened to reveal government secrets. She kept a red diary documenting conversations with the Kennedys. She planned a press conference the week of her death. She told friends she would shock the world with revelations. Her death became the perfect Hollywood mystery. Beautiful women, powerful men, sex, politics, and secrets combined into an irresistible conspiracy. The full truth remains buried with Marilyn. Her final scene may never be fully understood. It's wild to think how much was hidden behind the smiles, the muscles, and the blockbuster roles, right? If these walls could talk, imagine what other secrets might still be buried deep in Hollywood's golden past. Which action icon's hidden truth shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're hungry for even more untold stories, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around. The real Hollywood is way crazier than anything you've seen on screen, and we're just getting started.